Ada for getting mad at my husband for sleeping with his friend. My 31M husband and I 34F, Alan are in an open marriage. It's more force of circumstance than anything. We both spend more time on the plane than at home because of our jobs, same industry, different companies. It's a common occurrence that we don't see each other for months on end, and we both have quite high libidos. We also love each other to death. Neither of us wanted to sacrifice their career. Neither of us wanted to sacrifice what we had either. We decided to open the relationship sexually as a middle ground, so we can see other people, but no dating, no catching feelings, just sex. It's unorthodox, but I'd rather be unorthodox than not have sex for 3 months or give up the love of my life. There were no hurdles for years, until now that is. Here's basically what happened. Technically we have no rules. We trust each other vis-a-vis the encounters being strictly sexual, and it's okay if they're recurrent. We can also hook up with friends and acquaintances. We've both done it and are both okay fine it. Now there's this friend, not really a friend, just part of our broader friend group. Let's call her Alice 26F. Alice very clearly used to have feelings for Alan. She more than once made advances at him, which were clearly attempts at a romantic affair rather than just wanting to hook up with him. Asked him out on dates, left very inappropriate notes, sent him past midnight blocks of text about how she keeps thinking about him. Word also got around that she point blank admitted to one of our mutual friends she was head over heels in love with my husband. Obviously this created a very unhealthy atmosphere and a lot of tension. Eventually, without admitting anything, she apologized for making me uncomfortable, and I passively forgave her. We never really interacted before, that wasn't going to change, but I also wasn't going to ask our mutual friends to shun her. That was years ago, right before COVID. Word got around again that she started saying she's over Alan, and that what she did at the time was stupid. Now what happened recently was that her and Alan hooked up. It was at some after party when they were both in town. He directly told me we usually tell each other, we don't have a don't ask don't tell policy like a lot of open couples do. Given his tone of voice, he genuinely believed he did nothing wrong. His logic being that what happened 3 years ago is history, and on his end it was nothing more than a hookup, so he didn't break any rules. The thing is, he's technically correct, but we're also not robots or corporate lawyers climaxing every time we find a loophole. I think it's pretty reasonable of me not to want someone who had a years-long crush on my husband to sleep with him, even if it's not written in the rule book somewhere. I'm not worried about my husband. Kids these days might call this cope, but I genuinely know Alan. Do I think he's incapable of falling for another woman? I'm not living in Disney movie, but that woman was never going to be Alice, for a plethora of reasons. It's really just the thought of a woman sleeping with my husband while being in love with him that makes me want to puke, no matter what my husband's feelings are. And I thought it was the least I could ask that he reaches that conclusion without needing it written in the product specification of relationships. So I got mad. We didn't talk for a week. He apologized. Things are back to normal. Again, I view this as a big faux pas, not the affair of the century. Anyway, I was talking about some of my close friends about it yesterday, and they all made me feel like I was the asshole for not putting my money where my mouth is, as in not wanting to follow the rules my husband. And I said, again, I feel like this is a very specific situation, and we shouldn't be talking about relationship rules like laws set in stone. To me, this is a specific case where my husband's instincts should have superseded being technically right. Ida,